Is it?
See ya. You see me?
What are you telling me, cuz?
I'm blessed, man. What are you saying? You're right.
Dead there. Dead there.
Huh?
Me dead there. Yeah. Ever heard that one before?
Welcome to another episode of the Purple Podcast.
Oh my days. That is a vile.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Purple Podcast. My name is Emmanuel.
And my name is David.
Or Corriday.
Or B.
I guess we're still going with this then.
That's another conversation. Once again, don't worry, we will get there. We will get there.
Anyway, shout out to the Purple people. Whoa.
Whoa.
What is going on today? The devil is a liar. Anyway, shout out to the Purple people, man. The Purple Nation. We're glad to have you listening one more again.
One more again?
Yeah.
You didn't want to finish off one more time, nah?
Nah, I just thought I'd switch it up.
Mad.
You know what I'm saying?
Mad.
Anyway, yeah, man. So today, we're going to speak on one that's really, really appropriate for people of any walk of life, man, at any point in time in their life.
Therefore.
Because we all need money, guys. We all need money.
For real.
And the way to get that money is more often than not, having a career. Gone are the blissful days of childhood where you didn't have to worry about paying rent or paying tithes.
Those days are gone.
Not that we worry about paying tithes. We do that with a cheerful heart. Amen. Of course we do it with a cheerful heart. But I mean, like, whatever it might be that you need to pay, student financing,
£60 phone bill,
or your phone bill, student loans and all them things there. So, gone are the days where we didn't have to deal with all of that. Now we have to deal with all of that. We shouldn't worry about it because, you can't, by worrying, you can't, change your hair or anything like
4:19.
that. Don't worry about nothing, but with prayer and thanksgiving, make your request known to God.
That wasn't the Bible verse, but
Oh, was that not?
No.
Philippians 4:19, 4:19. God shall supply all your needs. See, that's how I remember it. Philippians 4:19. Special one for us Nigerians out here.
Yeah, man.
God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. And that's what he will do when we are generous to him. But that notwithstanding, of course, we need careers to make money.
Therefore, man.
Careers are a massive part of life. Unfortunately, the number of years that a person works before they are, I guess, forced into retirement, is increasing. And it's increasing year on year. Some people are saying by the time we get to it, there might not even be a year of retirement.
Which is mad because then you got to ask the question, why are they collecting one pension fee? By the time you'll need to collect it, you'll be dead. And then who's going to chop the money?
Well, it seems to me that you can always dip into your pension if need be. But
fair enough.
But it's a good point. It's like, can you imagine like just working, and getting that pension and stuff? Paying that pension and, just never ever, using it. I mean, it's good because hopefully, inevitably, that can just be left for your children.
Yeah.
Because it is your money at the end of the day.
Of course.
But plus, obviously, I think it's subsidized as well by the government. The government give a percentage with regards to interest.
I wouldn't know. I'll be 100.
But yeah, so anyway, careers are a massive part of life. You're going to be working for a long time. Words that I've heard people close to retirement say to our generation, and I kind of resent that. But there you go. But what they have said is that you want to make sure that whatever you're doing is something you enjoy. Now, watch this. They're making us make those kind of decisions from a very young age. At the age of, we would say as soon as you finish university, then you need to decide what career you're going to do. But if we're going to be realistic here, you need to kind of have some sort of idea, or it seems like you should have some sort of idea even from secondary school.
15, 16, sometimes. Yeah, from when you're picking your options and stuff like that. Like, you need to have some sort of idea because you need to know, all right, cool. These jobs or these subjects are going to allow me to do this subject area which I'm interested in. So then I need to, study this at A level. And that A level will then allow me to do this subject at university. And then that will allow me to get into this field. So you need to at least have some sort of idea, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, 15, 16-year-olds, bro, on what do you call it? What do you call this? It's not called a mufti.
Do you
Like
say wall on?
not not even. Not
Okay,
even. It's
sorry,
like a
go on.
non-school uniform day or something like that. That's
Okay.
what they were called and stuff. Where you wear your own
Say
clothes to school.
non-school uniform
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Where you wear your own clothes to school.
Yeah, on
Some
clothes day.
some own clothes. Thank you. Own
It's
clothes
been
day.
that
Yeah,
long, huh?
yeah. It's been that long. It's been that long. So like most kids don't even know what they're wearing on an own clothes day, let alone a career they want to be doing for the next 50, 55, 60 years of their lives. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for people to have to then make a choice, I just find that a bit mad, to be honest.
And the other thing is that, getting into careers, you don't necessarily have to have as much experience from the age of, 15, 16. You don't have to have so many years of experience like that. But, getting into certain jobs, it's like, you need to have had 1 year in industry already.
Yeah.
And you've been in you've been in education your entire life, or you need to have had 2 years of experience before you can acquire this job. You've got a master's degree, but do you have 2 years of experience in industry? And it's like sometimes it feels as though the entry level jobs are asking for that. Not everyone, but even sometimes entry level jobs are like, oh, you need at least 1 year of experience. And for, I don't know if they still do it, but there are many 3-year courses still out there, which should probably be canned now. You should probably have 4-year compulsory, so that everybody has to have 1 year of experience, even if they don't like it. At least it's like, oh, tough love. Like, you don't like it now, you don't want to have to take a year out. I know you just want to finish university quickly, but if you have this, you never know how it's going to become useful. So yeah, everybody needs to have an idea of kind of what they want to do, even from a young age.
Yeah.
And so, like you were saying, in school, from the age of 14, really,
Yeah.
year 9, you need to make your decisions for GCSE.
True.
And then once you've made those decisions, which is still somewhat broad, that's fine. But again, even those are narrowed, but it's still somewhat broad. It then gets even more narrow,
Yeah.
or narrower. So by the time you need to pick for A levels what you want to do, 4 subjects, at the very least 3. And then once you've done that, you then start to get into, you kind of specialize at university, where it's like a one subject area. And then once you do that, if you go on for your master's, then, or you go into something like law school or med school, then it's even more specific. But to get into medicine, you need to have certain A levels, like you said.
Of course.
To get into those A levels, you need to have good grades at those kind of the GCSEs that are required for that. So again, you have to make that decision really young. But here's the issue: there are so many careers that you can do.
Oh, too many. And the way like society is going, especially in the Western world, there's so many jobs that are constantly being created, and it's like these don't necessarily have courses for them per se.
Okay.
So it's like, with this whole social media thing, let's track back, I don't know, 10, 15 years. There weren't that many out and out social media courses,
15
specific
years ago,
courses.
what was social media? Maybe Bebo and
Nah, it was coming up
MySpace.
small, MSN and things like that. It was like
2005
preliminary stages. But from about 2007, 2008, Facebook and things like that started to come up. Then the 2010s, Snapchat, Instagram, things like that just started to blow up. Twitter, I think Twitter was like starting 2000 or 2002, something like that, something around those times, and they just started to blow up. But yeah, with the way the country is, there's so many jobs that new jobs that require new skills, and that the education system don't cater towards. So
then, do you feel like the school system, in terms of the curriculum, do you feel like it's unbalanced then?
completely unbalanced in every way, shape, or form.
All right.
In every way, shape, or form. You see, people that are, you don't even have to be woke. All you need to do is just do a bit of research. A lot of parents just ship off their kids to school thinking, yeah, they're giving you an education. You'll go through all of the right levels, get a degree, and get a really good job. I'm so not sorry. Coming out of university with a 2-1 or a first and getting 23 or 24 or 25 grand per year to pay off 50 grand debts worth of student loan is not an ideal way to live at all. And that's exactly what this education system is training up millions of young people to do and to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like this education system is doing, especially young people, is doing them a massive disservice. A massive disservice. There are no, skills being taught of financial literacy, how to make money work for you. You know, that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, teaching people how, or letting people know how the rich people, what the rich people teach their kids about money, and then what, you know, poor people or middle class people teach their kids about money. And it's very, very different things. You know, the education system doesn't teach you that. You know, somebody asked me a question and they said, all right, cool. When was the last time you ever had to use the following equation? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I just think in general, the government and the education system doesn't help students at all. It doesn't raise up people to, you know, think outside the box or come up with different ideas to make, you know, different streams of income. It teaches people to just be good workers and to fill in slots.
Now, here's the thing, because I definitely agree with you. I feel that the educational system could definitely be a lot more practical, and I feel like things have changed with regards to even when it. Bear with me here. When it comes to learning how to drive,
Okay.
you know, they've added things to that test now, such as how to change a tire.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of practicalities. You know, I passed my own practical by the grace of God before they brought those things in. But those are the kind of practicalities that are very, very useful, because yeah, it's all nice learning how to do a turn in the road, but what if, you know, your tire bursts,
Yeah.
and you've got a spare tire? Are you gonna ask AA to come out and fix your spare tire, or is it something you can do for yourself? You know, so maybe that kind of practicality, you know, how to do with taxes. If you own your own business, how do you do with taxes then? You know,
Yeah.
a variety of things like that. Maybe that could be brought, as you said, to the educational system.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: is university, going to uni, is it beneficial at all?
Yes.
Because you mentioned the whole thing of, you know, it just trains you to be a good worker, it just trains you to get debt, basically,
yeah.
for like the long time in life.
Yeah.
So really, is it beneficial still?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe university to be beneficial, because here's what you got to look at. University isn't, for me, my mantra has always been university. The primary reason you should go is for networking. Your network is your net worth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And the reason I say that is because in this lifetime, a lot of people understand that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's
you
true.
you could be perfectly qualified for a job, and you know that job could be 50 grand a year. You could have 20 years experience in that job and whatever it might be. And then if you go for that job and then somebody else goes for that job, just because whoever's potentially hiring, if they know the person that's got absolutely no years experience, but you know they know that person, they know them to be a good person, a reliable person, they could pick that person over you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's definitely who you know, and I think university rather, I think it's a good training ground, and it's a good microcosm of life in terms of dealing with different people. And I feel like for that reason, university is very, very necessary. I feel like the experiences people have, I think it's necessary for young people to go outside and live on their own, pay rent, fend for themselves, do shopping and things like that. I feel like that's invaluable experience.
But what about career though?
As for a career, it's possible that yes, it can work. So here's what I'll say. For
And
certain,
define what you mean by work, by the way.
so get somebody to where they want to be with their career. That's what I'll say, work. So I'll put it this way. So there's certain professions, being a lawyer, being a doctor, a surgeon, things like that, that require you to go to university and study and get the right information. Because if you don't have the right information, innocent people could go to prison. Innocent people, or people that, you know, their lives are put in your hands, could die if you're not up to date. So stuff like that, cool. I understand you going to uni, doing your thing and stuff like that. Understandable. But for a lot of other professions, I don't think you need uni in terms of career wise, because I feel like experience is way more valuable, way more valuable. You know, when I was in uni, I had one of my guys who was in the same course as me, and you know, I saw him as a joke, man. Like, he wasn't serious. The guy barely came into uni. He'd always leave early and stuff like that. And for him, like, he was working a job part time, earning 40K a year. Part time.
I would like to know what that job is.
he was working in a watch store. So he was working in a watch store and he was earning obviously good money. Like obviously some celebrities would come and buy watches there and stuff like that. So he was doing well for himself. But he said, I think he was 23, 24 years old. And I think he had been working from when he was 16. So all of those years experience in different places he's worked, you know, I think he was the manager there. So like he's done very, very well for himself. And, you know, it's all about experience at the end of the day, you know?
See, that's interesting because I feel like university is. I think there are more benefits to university sometimes than we give it credit for. So even when we talk about, you mentioned that, you know, getting experience would be of greater value, and it's true that, you know, if you've got a degree and no experience, they would probably take somebody who has, you know, 5 years experience but no degree over you. Do you know what I mean? They'll probably take that person over you. So I hear that. I agree with that to a degree. But I think, no pun intended. But I think that, you know, there's still great benefit in going to university because a lot of places won't let you in the door without a degree.
Very true.
Take, for example, there are many people who have come over to this country and, you know, they've got tons of experience, buckets loads of experience, but they don't have a degree in this nation.
Yeah.
Even people who have degrees from other nations and they come over here to work, it's like, yeah, you come over here to work, but you've got to take some exams so that we can see that you fit our standards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so my point there is that I feel that, you know, getting a degree in this country, and conversely, the funny thing is if you get a degree in this country and go elsewhere, like most other places you go, you are going to be able to work because you've got a degree from the UK or from London. Like, oh, what a big deal. So I feel that a degree is a key.
Yeah.
So I feel that it's necessary, and even almost because not everybody's going to have experience like your friend.
Fair enough.
Not everybody's going to have experience like him and be able to work at a part-time store for 40K. Like, how often do you hear of stories like that?
True.
They might be more common than we know, but they're definitely not a commonplace, or they're not commonplace in society.
Yeah.
So in a situation where people don't have the opportunity to just grab experience like that, I think it's definitely beneficial for them to go to university.
Yeah.
But then even then, you know, let's kind of speak to this whole thing of, you know, chasing your dreams versus going for a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to university now, I feel that there are some households, perhaps even maybe it's more common in some cultures, like where they will try and rear you up from a young age to go into a particular profession. I know that I've heard there are loads of people who are Indian who go into medicine. There are loads of people who are Chinese who also go into medicine, who go into a variety of different careers.
Yeah.
You know, there are many people who are Nigerian who go into engineering. Well, it's the big four, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially in Africa and Asian countries. It's the big four. It's or maybe big three. It's engineering, lawyer, or a doctor. Is there any other one that I've missed out? Maybe an accountant as a subcategory.
Yeah.
Like, that's not necessarily the highest, but it's still respected. Oh, my son is
option 5, don't come back to my house.
or don't come back. Bingo, right? So stereotypically, you know, it's those four, particularly the first three that I mentioned. And so going to university, as you said, is necessary for that. But I want you to speak a little bit, because the UK, particularly London, is a land of opportunity. And there are other places which are not necessarily hailed as the land of opportunity that people have, you know, made something of themselves without being any of those 3 or 4 things.
Of course.
So then in the UK, then what should a person do? Because we see these footballers who are earning millions and millions and millions.
Yeah.
We see these, you know, YouTube content creators who've made millions. We see, you know, social influencers who are making tons of money.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what should we do then? You know, should we focus on the whole typical route of going down, being an engineer, etc., or should we, you know, turn our minds elsewhere?
Here's what I'll say. There needs to be a fine balance.
Okay.
It's all well and good, you know, sticking to a degree, but I guarantee you, most people that have got degrees right now, especially at the time of recording, they're sitting at home jobless, nothing to do. They can't even work from home. Bare redundancies. bare redundancies. Do you know what I'm
And
saying?
if that is you, we're hoping and praying by God's grace you'll be able to get a good, well-paying job that you'll
For
be
real.
happy in Jesus' name,
For
amen.
real, amen.
Sorry to hear if you've been made redundant at this time, but keep your head up.
Keep your chin up.
Keep your chin up.
Yeah,
like
man.
like it's not the end. Do you know
It's
what I'm
not the
saying?
end
So
at all.
stay strong, keep applying for jobs, and you'll be back on your feet in no time, man.
Defo.
But yeah, go on.
So yeah, it's not wise for someone to just stick to that one profession, because there are not many professions where, regardless of what's going on, they can still keep doing what they're doing. So obviously doctors are still doing what they're doing. Lawyers, I don't even know what's going on with certain court cases. They've probably been suspended and stuff like that. But in
They'll still be processing paperwork.
oh yeah,
From
yeah,
home,
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
processing.
of course,
Because a lot of law is paperwork processing. I can't even lie to you.
mad thing.
A lot of it is paperwork processing. But go on.
Thing. But I'd say in that situation, what people should do is think. God gave you a brain, use it. And why do I say that? For anybody to live a life, I'd say just to live in comfort, they need at least 3 different streams of income. Where people make the mistake is that they...
I don't necessarily agree, but go on.
For me personally, there's certain jobs where you can only have one stream and that one stream is bringing in enough money. Cool. But for how most people want to live, they need 3 different streams of income. And for me, they need to hit different categories. For example, your one needs to be on 9 to 5. But in the event of something that is happening where everybody's forced to stay their backsides at home, you need to have 2 other streams that you're able to do that can bring you in some form of money. For some people, that could be teaching a particular lesson. For example, teaching keyboard lessons. You can do that online. People can be sending you the money, bank transferring you the money. You're making money and it's coming into your account over something small that you do on the side. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another way, selling e-commerce, selling products online. Some other people, they take products from here, they buy them like for cheap, they mass buy them, send them back home to their home country, and then sell them there for a profit. That's business. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's different ways for people to make money, and I just think people aren't doing enough to think about different ways to make it.
The reason I don't necessarily agree with you need at least, or you need preferably at least 3 different streams of income. I think it's a good thing, but one thing I found is that the more you make money, particularly when the people you're rolling with are of a certain class, or in a higher class to you or than you, or you're rolling with a different group of people, for whatever reason, and I guess maybe it comes down to pride, you want to make sure that you look and smell and almost to a degree behave like the people in your class. So I remember, a lot of people will say, oh, if I was earning £1 million, I would never, I would just spend the same. And some people do that, and I respect that, and I think that's a good thing. But like one thing you'll find is that once you get that 9 to 5 and you start earning your, starting 24, 25, 26, 30K, you'll find that particularly if you're working in the city, like the suit that you bought from East Street Market for £100, you'll find that it doesn't fit as well. You'll just notice after a while that the suits that everyone else is wearing in the city, they look slightly different.
Matting.
They kind of fit them better.
Matting.
Your suit kind of looks a bit, it doesn't have that same kind of, I don't know how to explain. It doesn't have the same fit. It's not as tailored. It doesn't look as good. And you'll start to notice it after a while. Another thing you'll notice is that they're wearing these things called overcoats, which you don't even know where to go to buy them. You're still going to Asda to buy your £20 or your £10, Asda white shirt, which is no disrespect there. It's lovely. They're going Charles Tyrwhitt, Moss Bros, and other places like that, Suit Supply, etc., etc. Don't come for me. I know my suit shops. I know them. But yeah, they're going there, and you'll find that, like, even when they advise you, I remember, one of my old managers, he was like, yeah, you can get a decent, you could, why? I don't buy my suits. I just tailor made them. And I was like, what? I was like, how much does that cost? If I want to go cheap, maybe £600. And I'm looking at that like £600. £600?
Suit, bro.
Like where we come from, like
you don't do them things.
You don't spend that kind of money, period.
Yeah.
Period. Talk less on a suit. That's house rent money.
Yeah,
And that doesn't even fully cover house rent, bruv. What do you mean £600 if you're gonna go cheap? Or another person was like, oh yeah, you can get a really decent suit for, like a really cheap suit for 200. Cheap suit for 200? Now, of course, part of this is ignorance, but like we have to understand that a lot of people, come from working class backgrounds, and particularly if they're first generation Londoners and things like that, the idea of spending £200 on a suit will be foreign, and it depends on the occupation of your parents as well. Because that's another thing. A lot of our English friends, the idea of becoming a lawyer or an engineer is not an aspiration.
Yeah.
It is not an aspiration. That's just what mum, dad, and Uncle Jeff does.
Yeah.
So it just runs in the family. So I'm going to become a doctor. Like it's what we do. It's what our family does. The same thing in a lot of Asian families as well. It's like, oh, dad was this, mum was this. So they just become that. It's not an aspiration.
Yeah.
So for a lot of us where these kind of things may seem like aspirations, and so that our parents can brag, hey, my son is a medical doctor, all of that stuff, medical doctor, all of that stuff, you'll find that as people like that earn more money, it might become a thing that they want to look like the people they're around.
Yeah.
So your lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
And once lifestyle changes, spending habits change.
Yeah.
And so you'll find that as such people earn more money, the cost of living is increasing to meet that. So even though we say, you need to have 3 streams of income, I think without discipline, it's very, very, very possible that 3 streams of income will not be enough. Heck, even 25 streams of income will not be enough. But I did want to say something to this briefly. The whole adults, because remember we're talking about the realist versus the pragmatist versus the dreamer.
Yeah.
The whole thing of like certain cultures seemingly pushing certain careers. Is there a benefit in that? So again, the big 3: engineer, doctor, and lawyer.
There can be benefits to it, but at what cost?
Oh, okay.
I feel like it is beneficial. It is beneficial to have a degree, to get a degree in a subject that will yield a good financial return. Do you know what I'm saying? It is beneficial to do that. And, sometimes you may not even want to, but sometimes it's just firming what you don't like, doing something good in it so that you'll be more comfortable. Because a lot of us, a lot of our African, Caribbean, Asian, Arab, maybe less for Arab, but, like Asian and African and Caribbean parents have come from places and from backgrounds, and they're doing menial tasks. Do you know what I'm saying? They might not even have, or let's say the freedom to move around as free as we do. Do you know what I'm saying? And from them having to work menial tasks and, just kind of make enough money to get by, or, build themselves up from scratch.
Yeah.
To get property
Start a whole new life.
and to get assets for themselves. Coming from the aspect of where they're coming from, they will want you to do these jobs that they've seen other people doing, and that's bringing them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So in terms of that, it is definitely, there are benefits to it, yes, and I can understand why they push that, but at the same time, I said at what cost. Now, a lot of parents fracture relationships with their children in pushing these
Forcing
forcing these careers on their children, and putting pressure on them, saying, you better do this or do that career, and if you don't do well, I'm disowning you as my child. And they fracture a lot of relationships, because one thing that is pretty much established, or one thing, if you're not aware, is that everybody is different, and a lot of people's passions aren't in these, regular or common jobs that, used to be top of the food chain in terms of a career. So being a doctor, being a lawyer, or being, what was the other one?
An engineer,
or even being a teacher. That's seen as a very respectable job to have.
Although it doesn't really make much money, unfortunately.
Until you get to the higher levels and things like that.
Yeah.
So, those jobs aren't at the top of the food chain anymore. And, there are other jobs that people are doing and they're making more money from. I'll give an example. Make it make sense as to how somebody can jump on YouTube and can just be an idiot. And these people are making healthy money from doing the YouTube.
Yeah,
Tell
entertainment.
me, even entertainment. Tell me why a footballer, yeah, even this guy, Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is younger than me. The kid's like what, 19, 20 maybe?
Hey,
The kid is
here we
probably
go.
sitting on minimum 350 racks. That's 350,000 euros per week.
That's that's
Every month he becomes a millionaire. Take that in. No, take that in. Take that in.
yeah.
Every month he becomes a millionaire. Take that in.
He's a million euros richer.
And what people need, what parents need to understand is that there are so many ways to make money in this country.
Yeah.
Legal ways. I
Yeah.
don't condone
If you're out there
anything
making illegal
illegal.
money, we strongly encourage you that there are other ways out there.
Loads of other ways.
There are other ways out there, and feel free to hit us up in the DMs because some people even say, just briefly on that, they'll say, "Oh yeah, but an ex-con, how are they going to make money?" There are initiatives out there.
Yeah,
So when I say
yeah.
ex-con, I mean somebody who's come out of prison,
Yeah.
who's got a criminal record.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
are initiatives out there, charities out there who specialize specifically. The name doesn't come to me right now, but they specialize specifically on people who have a criminal record.
Yeah.
The people who've literally come out of jail, they specialize on getting those individuals jobs
Yeah.
because they
yeah.
believe in restoration. But sorry, go on.
No. It's a great point.
Illegal,
It's a great point.
if possible. Let's leave that.
But yeah, I feel like parents just need to understand that there are so many more ways of making money. And, with a lot of African and Asian parents and Caribbean parents, it's one of those ones where, once you tell them that you don't want to go down that path, or you tell them you want to do something that they don't necessarily think will bring in a lot of money. So let's say you want to get into media, or you want to, do something that's not those like regular
The
jobs.
big three, yeah.
What you'll need to do is get into that field and start making good money before they'll actually back you, which is a big problem, a very big problem, and can build a lot of resentment. But it just has to be the case, because then those parents, they are the types that say seeing is believing. So they won't back you, they won't support you at either you'll get very, very little to no support at all. And it's one of those ones you just got to work hard and surround yourself with the right people and the right voices and the right material.
Yeah. But you know what? I feel that because again, we have to remember the story, the background behind all of this. So
Yeah.
as you know very well by now, when Nigerians were also British and were proud of both. You know
Gang.
what I'm saying? We're proud of both.
Gang.
So what for us though, when it comes to the Nigerian aspect, a lot of Nigerians, as you said, they're in the diaspora. They've come from their home country. Their home country is Nigeria. That's where they grew up. They had some form of education or maybe no form of education. They've come over here to the land of opportunity to give their children what is essentially a better life. That is incredibly hard. A place that is not your first language. It's nothing. It's not very similar to your culture at all. And you now want your own children to get opportunities that you yourself did not get. And what's worse is you can't even, in a lot of cases, you can't better yourself because a lot of these households, unfortunately, are single parent households. And even when they're not, they're very busy working to financially provide for these kids. So these kids don't have to worry about anything else. They can just go to school and study.
True.
And then these kids come home talking about, Mum, I don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah.
Go and do the dishes, bruv. Do you know how much your mum or your dad sacrificed?
That's true.
Anyway, that's another story. So they're now, their whole thing is, I want to give this child a better life than I got.
Yeah.
Now, for some parents, part of that is so that they can grow up and take care of me.
That's problematic in itself.
Now, when we say it's problematic, here's what we mean. Definitely take care of your parents when they're older. But the reason, what I think one of the aspects to that is, I don't think they have pension in Nigeria.
Which is a problem.
And there are many nations in this world that they don't have pensions. So it's of course, they need to be taken care of. They can't work anymore. They've been forced into retirement. There's no pension. How are these people going to survive? Of course, your children need to take care of you.
But this is what we're talking about, financial literacy. It is not... Anyway, I'll bring that one in after. Go for it.
But I'm just saying, whereas in this country, pensions are there for your parents to basically take care of themselves. But wherever you can, whether there's pension or no pension, do take care of your parents. But that notwithstanding, they want you to have a better life than they did. Now, listen, being an engineer, being a doctor, particularly a medical doctor, and being a lawyer, there is nowhere in this world that you can go that you won't be able to work, unless that place does not have an infrastructure as a nation, such that they don't have a legal system, so there's no need for lawyers. They don't have hospitals, so there's no need for doctors, and they don't have they have no buildings, no need for engineers or whatever else engineers might do. Let's say the only place you cannot work in this nation, in this world, is in places that do not have infrastructure. In other words, Antarctica, and even then. So, is it really unbeneficial that they're trying to push you down that line? I don't think so. I believe that you're right. You know, it shouldn't necessarily be by force to the place where it's like, I want to make you, you know, you have to be, you know, I don't care about how you feel. It's not necessarily the best thing. But can we also remember that your happiness is not God? Like, at the end of the day, happiness is not what pays the bills. Now, paying the bills doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be happy in every situation, but we need to have a healthy balance of both. You know, some people say, oh, you know, I'm earning millions, you know, but I'm not happy. Let's sort that out. But it's like, you would also not be happy if, you know, you were doing everything that you love and you couldn't earn the money to pay your rent. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the number of people who've entered, and we'll get onto our individual stories in a bit, but the number of people who've gone after, basically made a career out of their passion, the number of people who've done it and haven't made it is alarming. And what was their passion has now turned to a frustration for them because they're struggling to pay the bills. Like, that's one thing we have to remember. Like, the whole thing about having 3 streams of income, which I agree everybody should do if possible. But the whole thing about being that Mbappe, you know, doing all these wonderful things, being the celebrity who's earning tons of money, being that movie star who, and by the way, that doesn't necessarily mean they earn loads of money because not everybody who's famous is rich. But, you know, that person who, you know, didn't go to university, started off a business and he became a trillionaire in 5 years. That's not everybody's story. So I think it is still beneficial that, you know, certain careers are pushed, particularly the careers which, keyword, lead you to a financial stability. And I think that's the thing. I think you should have a healthy balance of both because the whole becoming the Mbappe thing, it doesn't work for everyone. And by the way, it's not just East Asians and Africans that push the whole, you know, certain careers kind of thing.
Fair enough.
I think that Western infrastructure, to a degree, pushes certain careers too.
True.
What are the jobs that pay the most? I think that's how they push it. They push it financially. It's like, okay, there are certain jobs which earn more than other jobs. It kind of shows you, you know, which jobs are, you know, kind of more desirable or which jobs they want you to do more of. But the difference between, you know, America, the UK, Canada, which is a part of Northern America, you know, and Europe and things like that, the difference is they have more markets for things that are not necessarily the big 3. So they've got larger markets for things like music to a degree. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, more people are willing to put money down for things like art and things like that. Whereas in Nigeria, it's like, if you've got art, you know, it depends on what it is, because even with that, it's changing now. If, you know, if you're going to design logos and stuff, you know,
there's a space.
There's a space for that. There's a growing market for it, but it's not such an established market that people put down 2 billion because you designed a logo for them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the difference, markets. And so now the question then comes, all right, you've said all this stuff. You know, I have my passion. How do I know what I'm going to do? Like, how do I actually make that decision of career? I think the moral of the story there, in terms of deciding what you want to do, is number one, like, look at your desires, weigh them up with the practicality of life. I've got friends who, you know, I've got a particular friend, he's a sound engineer, he's a musician. And he's doing it full time. This guy is traveling all over the world. And sometimes I look at that and like, would I really enjoy that? But then I realized me and him are 2 different people, and I like the journey I'm on, and I know he's loving the journey he's on. Do you know what I'm saying? And I remember having conversations with him, and I asked him, well, what about stability and practicality? And he was like, he patterned the thing, like he figured it out to the place where, or he was tactical about his choice to do music because he knows, or he knew, that loads of people will go into music. They'll be popular for a little while, and then after a while, people will call the next person. Especially because, business speaking, like, loads of musicians will just undercut you. Oh, he wants you to pay him 500. I'll do it for 200. Do you know what I mean? And so you're losing money because people just undercut you.
Yeah.
And so he figured out a way to make it such that what he does in the music world, it will always be necessary.
Yeah.
And that he will be so good that people will call him.
Yeah.
And that his rates will also be very competitive.
Yeah.
So so I guess the moral of the story is this. You've got to, as I said before, search yourself. What is your desire? What is your passion? What is it that you enjoy doing? Second, what kind of life do you want to live? And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, I want to live the life of a millionaire. Everybody wants to live the life of a millionaire, bro. Pipe down. Focus. What kind of life do you want to live? Are you a family man? Do you want a job that...
What sacrifices are you willing to make?
What sacrifices are you willing to make? Do you want a job that you travel around? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you want the comfort and the flexibility of doing music when you want, or do you want to do music compulsorily? That's not a word, but do you want music to be compulsory for you every single day of your life? Whereas like, even if you don't feel like doing it, you have to do it because that's the only way you can make money.
Yeah.
Like what kind of life do you want to live?
Yeah.
And then third, how can you make it that the job you're doing is always necessary, so that you'll always be able to make that money? And fourth, it's a journey.
Yeah, man.
It's a journey.
100%. There's no rush. There's no rush at all. There's no rush at all. And the thing is, a lot of us, even me, I'm still young. I'm 22. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still young, and it's like a lot of us can think.
Some people are like, he's 22.
Yeah, man. 22 still, but a lot of people can end up thinking that they have to have it figured out.
Yeah.
But you don't, because 9 times out of 10, your job or what you do will effectively change and evolve every 5 years.
Yeah.
It will change and evolve. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just taking time and, understanding that shift.
Literally, like, one of the reasons our parents are so set on, and older people are so set on, like, have a career, is because in their time, it was always one career.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you're a builder for the next 50 years.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an accountant for the next 50 years. I've been working in this firm for the last 70 years. Like, that's literally, that was their story. But we're now living in a world where it's like things are changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
People will be in one career for the 5 years and then move on.
Yeah.
5 years, something completely different.
Yeah.
5 years, something completely different. I know a man who, he said that he challenged himself to like pick up something new every single 5 years, like completely jump into something different.
Yeah.
Every 5 years. And so, yeah, it's a journey. So I guess the 2 takeaway things are this. 1, it's a journey. It's okay to not know tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like if you're anxious and you're worried, a very wise man by the name of Jesus the Christ said, don't worry about tomorrow. For sufficient for the day is its own trouble.
Come on,
In other words, like, why are you worrying about tomorrow? There's enough things to worry about today.
100.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
And
No
that's
cap.
and part of that is rooted in the fact that if you're not a Christian, well, that's a different thing. But again, still don't worry.
We're
But
praying for you too, don't worry.
we're praying for you too. But if you are a Christian, it's like, no, you know God who knows tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, chill. Like, there's no bird that falls dead from the sky without God knowing about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like, chill. And then second, again, in the very, very wise words of a very sharp thinker, I think his name was also Jesus Christ. He said, who sets out to build a tower? Who sets out to build a tower without first counting the cost? Right? So even if you're not religious, just like take these words of wisdom in. Like, before you build anything, like, obviously you're going to count how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
So anything that you want to do, whether you want to do art full time, whatever it might be, sit down, be real about it.
Yeah.
Count the cost. Like, take your dreams and then put them in this real world. Count the cost.
Yeah.
Can you do it full time? If not, can you do it part time? If you're doing it part time, what are you going to do to fund it? Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
Sit down, count the cost, and then build your tower. So yeah, man, as always, guys, let us know what you think. What kind of career are you looking to do? what have you already done? Are you looking to change careers? Are you trying to think about the best way to move into a different career? Let us know what you think. Do you agree with what we've said? Do you completely disagree? Do you think, nah, just chase your dreams, bro? Or do you think, you know what, nah, forget this whole thing about balance, forget this whole red and purple thing or red and blue thing. Just give me 9 to 5 and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, let us know in the DMs, and we'll
Definitely.
be happy to correspond with you guys. As always, guys, this has been another episode of the Purple Podcast. Get yourself a bit of red, get yourself a bit of blue.
Come on.
And be a part of the Purple people.
Come on, somebody.
Until next time, or as this foolishness as we've seen on Insta recently, until tomorrow. Peace.